Hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is Abby with Abby Reviews. Is this thing on? I repeat, is this thing on? Welcome back to a Petty Mike review. I am dipping my toes back into the Housewives. Now, y'all know I tried it with Salt Lake City, and my nerves is bad. And I didn't even make it all the way through the first season because them chicks got on my nerves. But I remember some of Miami before. So we gonna try again with the Real Housewives of Miami. They're restarting this franchise. They had 3 seasons before, and then they stopped, and now they're restarting. I think it may be a whole new cast. It may be people from the old cast. I don't know. We gonna see. But let's jump into the first episode. Okay, so we start with the ladies from the 4 ladies from the original, four OGs, Marisol, Alexia. I don't remember the other 2 ladies' names. It's very Spanish. But they're talking about how they've been through marriages, deaths, all that stuff. Unfortunately, Marisol, her mama was my favorite from the previous version of Real Housewives of Miami. She was nuttier than a fruitcake, and I loved every freaking second of it. That woman, listen, she gave me joy, and I'm so sorry. My condolences to you, Miss Marisol, for the loss of your mama. But I digress. So some other ladies, Alexia and Adriana, come to the table. I cannot think of the other 2 ladies' names to save my life. Jesus, fix it. Okay, sorry, I had to do a quick wardrobe change. That sweater was hot as hell, and it's hot as hell in this house, so I was about to explode into a puddle of sweat, and nobody wants that. So let's go back to the ladies at the table, and Adriana and Larissa have shown up, and they are immediately shading Larissa about her having an OnlyFans. And they were like, so you just showing your nipples and just being naked on OnlyFans? And she was like, no, I pretty much show, what I would show like on Instagram, just a little saucier. They show and they cut in pictures from her OnlyFans. Ain't nothing crazy. Ain't nothing with her legs spread wide open or nothing super inappropriate that they showed. I don't know if that encompasses all of her OnlyFans, but for what we saw. Okay, and then she said, yeah, I make $10,000 a day. Coming soon, Ebony's OnlyFans. Now, if I can make $10,000 a day posting the risque or pictures that I won't post on Instagram, sign me up. I'm here for it. I'll get behind the paywall. Y'all can get all the rolls and the jelly for $4.99 a month. You can get all of that. Thank you. Y'all ain't nobody trying to play $5.99 to see me naked. Okay, moving on. So then the other girl was like, you gotta be dumb. Y'all must think we're dumb if you think that she is just posting pictures for and making $10,000 a day. There's no way she's not doing more. Pay the membership and find out. Don't make assumptions. Don't reach for it. You know so much. Go ahead and pay it and see what she's doing behind the paywall. Well, not the super shady edits. So we with Alexia and her son, and she's saying a lot has changed in the last 8 years. Her and her husband Herman, who was on the show with her, separated, and then unfortunately a year later he passed. I'm assuming they hadn't gotten divorced yet, and all these rumors came out about him being gay, and she was like, believe me, there were no signs there. I would have known. I'm not that naive. They cut to a clip from the old show where there's some guy who clearly may be one of the gays. He said he's one of the girls. He says, "Do you don't recognize me? Hi, I'm such so." You don't recognize me? He was like, "No." He got down on his knees and said, "You do I look familiar now?" Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. Okay, so we're still with Miss Alexia, and she's talking about Herman Sons closing down the magazine, and she's opened up this business. And her son, who has traumatic injury due to an accident. So, and it was introduced in the original. So, hell, it's just about enough drama in my own damn house. I don't know what the hell they talking about. Moving on. So the son is working with her at the business, and they're on their way home. I don't know if he will ever be self-sufficient or enough after this traumatic accident to be able to live on his own. But she lives with her fiance Todd and his two daughters, and they're talking about the wedding. When they started talking about the wedding, the daughters looked a little iffy about the situation. So she goes into this conversation about her oldest son. Oh, I guess he's the oldest. Maybe he's the youngest son. I don't remember. Todd, and how back then Todd was a hothead at 18, and he's grown up. He's living on his own. He's doing different business opportunities, but the fiance Todd and the oldest and the son that doesn't live with them are not speaking right now. And she's like, it hurts me because that's not the way that I want it to be, especially with my wedding coming up, because I know Todd is the one that I want to, he's my forever and all that good stuff. So we gonna see how that plays out. But again, them daughters, when they mentioned the word wedding, both was like, so I don't know, it may not just be the son that's not on board with this wedding. We gonna find out. Okay, so we visit Lisa and her husband Lenny and their child and their dog. Talk about this big gorgeous house on Star Island. They're the king and queen of parties, even though their parents apparently they had a rough patch involving some infertility and stuff like that, and apparently the husband had an emotional affair. I don't know what that means. I know what that means, but he don't seem like the type to just have an emotional affair. But it's with a $2 hoe, apparently, according to Lisa. But when she put her foot down and she's like, "That's it, I'm done," and he groveled his way back, and now they done found their way back to love, so they're back together. Mazel tov. That's all I got. So next up on the docket, we meet Miss Gertie. Gertie is a major event planner. She's been on The Knot, Bridal Magazines, Martha Stewart, all of the good things. And Miss Gertie has been tapped to do Lisa's wedding. Is it Lisa? I think it's Lisa's wedding. So that is where their relationship comes in. Miss Gertie has a husband who's her high school sweetheart. She is originally from Haiti, via Paris, then to the United States. She has two sons, they're beautiful little boys, 14 and I want to say maybe 12, 10-year-old. But she said she's always been pivoting and adjusting in this life. So we're going to see what Miss Gertie can gertify with this show. Let's move on. Now, I've been saying Larsa this whole time, and it just dawned on me when they showed a picture of her with her husband, who she's no longer with. That's Scottie Pippen's wife, Larsa. Stupid me. Who even knew that? Daughter is having a little hot girl summer party at her house for the ladies. Things are in a disarray at this moment, but everybody is getting ready to come over and party. There's glam squads happening everywhere. I want a glam squad, but I'm so particular, I'll probably end up doing this shit myself. Okay, you know what? We're gonna keep it pushing. Moving on. Alright, so all of the ladies come to the party. We meet Adriana's friend Juliana. She's Russian. We meet Kiki, Gertie's friend. There seems to be a in-depth conversation about the OnlyFans situation. Adriana said that she's going to get some lessons from Larsa. She's freshly single. She's trying to be independent, so she's trying to get her OnlyFans on. And I can't think of the lady's name right now. Maybe it's Lisa. I don't remember. I don't think it's Lisa. So they're having a whole OnlyFans conversation, and Lisa was interjecting because the one girl was like, "And you trust her to do all that?" And blah 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 blah. And she was like, "Yeah, why not?" And she was like, and she was like, so and what they're trying to get the super judgy girl to understand is that you don't have to it doesn't necessarily have to be porn content on OnlyFans. OnlyFans is just a paywall. It's just a platform that you can charge people to watch your content. Whatever you deem is an appropriate price to charge for people to see your content. It doesn't necessarily have to be X-rated. It doesn't have to do anything with sex. It doesn't have to. Now, the biggest people that have been on the platform who have probably gotten paid the most have been sex workers and people doing sex acts. But that is not the only way to get paid using the OnlyFans. So the girl was saying, well, I registered so I could see. The one lady is just stuck, and she just swears. And she was like, well, I know that other people do other things, but how are you making your money? That's not making you any money. If that's what your platform is about, and that's all you're posting, then whatever money, that's how you're making your money. It's not that there are chefs on there doing recipes and cooking shows, and then at night it's Chef After Dark and his dick is out. That's not how that works, beloved. That's not how. She's very close-minded. Very close-minded. And I believe it was Lisa who was saying, well, I registered, and you would be pleasantly surprised to see the type of content that's on the platform. You can't just assume. This is not Pornhub. This is not Vidster. This is not none of those things. That's not what this is. And I don't think she's understanding, or she doesn't get the concept. She just naturally assumes if you're on OnlyFans, it's because you're doing sex work. The one lady is just stuck, and she just swears. And she was like, well, I know that other people do other things, but how are you making your money? That's not making you any money. If that's what your platform is about, and that's all you're posting, then whatever money, that's how you're making your money. It's not that there are chefs on there doing recipes and cooking shows, and then at night it's Chef After Dark and his dick is out. That's not how that works, beloved. That's not how. She's very close-minded. Very close-minded. And I believe it was Lisa who was saying, well, I registered, and you would be pleasantly surprised to see the type of content that's on the platform. You can't just assume. This is not Pornhub. This is not Vidster. This is not none of those things. That's not what this is. And I don't think she's understanding, or she doesn't get the concept. She just naturally assumes if you're on OnlyFans, it's because you're doing sex work. Okay, so we find out a little bit more about Juliana, the Russian friend, is actually married to Martina Navratilova. Huh. I was not expecting that. I could have sworn I heard about that happening, that she was going to be on the show, but I'm not 1,000% sure, so don't hold me to it. So they're talking about being on the farm with goats and stuff, and Kiki was like, well, can I milk the goat with my mouth? That's really, daughter, that's what we're doing today. Okay. No, ma'am, you cannot milk the goat with your mouth. Don't ever ask anyone that ever again as long as you live. Thank you. Sheesh. These women, some of them. Fix it, God. When did wearing a sweatshirt become slutwear? So after the stupid conversation about the goat and the udder, and the girl was like, I was asking because I didn't know the answer to the question. I wasn't trying to be gross or anything like that. I was just asking a question because I didn't know the answer. And Marisol took offense to that and walked off. So Larsa had like matching pink sweatsuits for everybody to like put on and like take pictures in front of the step and repeat, like create a fun photo moment. How they was like, oh, the sweatshirts were pink and teenager boppery, and somebody called it teenage slutty, and it's slutwear, and that's the sweatshirt. It's sweat. What are you talking about? Seems to be a great divide between the generations, and what the words definitions actually mean. So we got some more information about Juliana, how she was Miss USSR, and she got her into the Miss Universe pageant, which is how she was able to get to the United States, and how she didn't speak a word of English at first, and she had to learn, and how she met Martina at the French Open the first time, and nothing happened, and then they met 8 years later to the day, and 3 days later they were moved in with each other. So love abounds. And how at first they were when they were together and they were living in Paris, it was a stigma to be gay, and like Martina would they would go out in public and Martina would want to hold her hand, and she was like, no, you can't, people are looking and they're watching, and somebody might say something. And it was a real fear that she dealt with until she got to Miami, where her mind has been real open, and so that's her home and she doesn't ever want to leave, which is great. And their new house is absolutely stunning. Okay, so we with Nicole, who is an actual anesthesiologist, and her man, who is an attorney. They've been together for years. She calls him her husband. They have children together. They're just not married. She says if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. So if that's what works for her and her man, wonderful. Of course, everybody's wondering, like, if he proposed, would you say yes? She was like, yeah, but I don't think I would rush out and get married. I would just be good with my big ring for a good little while. If she like it, I love it. If that's what works for them and they have that understanding and agreement, and they're good with their life, then I'm good with it. If you like it, I love it. Tickled pink for you. Jesus Christ. Clearly, talking is not my strong suit today. We're moving on. Okay, so we in the episode at Marcel's house, and I can't think of the name. Okay, y'all, this is the first episode, so I don't know everybody's names. You can charge to my head, not my heart, because I'm old, and I'll eventually get everybody's names. But the lady who was married to Herman, who they thought had the gay boyfriends, one of the gay boyfriends reached out to her assistant and was like, here, take my number down, and if she ever wants to have a conversation. This is the one that showed up to the funeral. He showed up to that man's funeral. Jesus Christ. And he's like, take my number down. And so the assistant said, they sent him a text message saying, would he be willing to talk to her? Alexis, I think it is. So we gonna see next episode what happens. But they were able to look at his Instagram and figure out he had a huge penis. I have legit mixed emotions about this. Talking to your dead husband's lover. But we gonna see what happens. Okay, well, this has been my review and recap for The Real Housewives of Miami Season 4, Episode 1. Please, sirs and ma'ams, like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and if you're looking for it, it's on Peacock. It's not on Paramount Plus. That's where I went wrong the first time. It's on Peacock, not Paramount Plus. But like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a kid, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.